Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. Much of us across northern Michigan are experiencing some warmer temperatures and some rain right now. But meteorologist Trevor Robodeau said that rain could turn into snow pretty soon, right, Trevor?
Yes, and it's already turning into snow for a few people. So it's pretty interesting. We got very messy weather tonight. But what I will say is, if you're a fan of differing weather, if you let's say you wanted rain and then you also wanted ice, snow, and wind.
Who would want that?
All in 12 hours. Yeah, who would want that? Well, I got the news for you. We're going to get all of that over the course of the next 12 hours, especially for some people. So as you had mentioned, the warmer temperatures, we did have some rain. And that's currently changing over to snow as the system crosses northern Michigan. And so overnight tonight, very late overnight tonight, it's going to turn entirely to snow and potentially some icing problems for some people as well tomorrow morning. So we'll talk about that when we get back to the main weather in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks so much, Trevor. Let's start off with our top local story tonight. About a month ago, East Bay Township Planning Commissioners approved the DNR's plans to upgrade the Traverse City State Park. Now, part of the upgrade involves moving the park's entrance and removing the pedestrian bridge that connects the park to the beach. Now, that has been there since 1966. And a lot of community members say that they are concerned about safety impacts that removing the bridge could cause. And today, our Allie Baxter spoke with someone who lost a loved one in that area before the bridge was even built.
I lost a huge chunk of my heart when he was gone.
It may have happened 63 years ago, but Nancy Kyogama remembers every detail of the day her 11-year-old brother Jody was hit by a car while crossing the road by the Traverse City State Park.
He was your typical mischievous, fun little boy. He loved riding bikes, loved teasing us.
As Nancy tells it, on June 15th, 1962, Jody was riding a friend's bike to this candy store by the state park.
And he took our orders. I remember I wanted a chocolate, it was back then 2-cent lollipop sucker, and took his order and hopped on his bike, and it wasn't too long after that we heard sirens.
Jody later died from his injuries at Munson Hospital. In 1962, there was no pedestrian bridge there. That changed 4 years later.
It was a pretty big deal when an 11-year-old gets hit by a car and killed. We were a much smaller community back then, and so we were told that impacted whoever it was that decided to put that bridge up. So, and it was much needed and still is needed today.
The DNR owns this pedestrian bridge, and the DNR is the agency responsible for the decision to now remove the bridge, a decision Nancy says shocked her.
I was heartbroken, actually. I almost devastated, because to lose a brother, to lose a son, to lose a child is absolutely devastating. And to remove that bridge just increases the risk of another child getting hit and killed. We need it. We need it there.
The joint plan, as described by the DNR and MDOT, is to replace the bridge with a stoplight and pedestrian crossing. But as Nancy and others have explained, this doesn't stop a distracted driver. Although the bridge is not ADA compliant, ideas to add ramps to it were cited as being too expensive.
You can't put a price on people's safety and on people's lives. It's, like I said, it was devastating to our family. We were never the same after that. Never. To this day, I can't drive by without thinking about that day. It was life-changing.
To Nancy, this bridge is a reminder of what could have been.
I drive by here all the time, and when I see it, I just always wonder, what if? What if?
And Allie is joining us live now from our content center for more on this story. Hey, Allie, thanks so much for being on Unscripted once again.
Yeah, absolutely, Maya.
So is this plan to remove the pedestrian bridge set in stone? Is it for sure happening?
I mean, based on some of our experience in the past, anything that's working with the DNR, MDOT, stuff at the state level, normally that is pretty set in stone. You can normally maybe enact a little bit more change if something's happening on your local level. I've seen that happen. But when things are at the state level with MDOT and DNR, normally plans don't change.
And was the biggest reason for the DNR to want to remove this bridge because it's not ADA accessible?
That's definitely one of the reasons. Right now, they were looking to have a different entrance and exit, and the place that they determined where that would be the best fit is where the pedestrian bridge is now. But as a lot of people have said, they don't want to see that pedestrian bridge removed. It's there for a reason. And even though there are plans for there to be now a stoplight there with pedestrian crossings, that's just not enough, because what went from you being responsible for yourself, just using the pedestrian bridge, now has turned into you're responsible for yourself crossing the street safely, but now your life is also in the hands of the drivers as well, and making sure they're not distracted and looking out for you as well.
And we know that's a very busy stretch of roadway, and it's 4 lanes across. So there is a lot of traffic going through there every day.
Yeah, and it's 45 through there as well, which we know 45, you can probably safely assume a lot of people are going 55 through there.
Definitely. And I know that MDOT and the DNR, they have held different community input sessions. So I'm assuming other community members have voiced their concerns about losing this bridge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, our Nightside reporter, Cody Bear, he went to one of their community input sessions a couple of weeks ago and talked to someone who said, I don't know how I feel about this pedestrian bridge being removed. You know, it's always been here as long as I've been here, and I do think it's a safety concern. He was also able to speak with some people there that work with MDOT and the DNR, and they said, you know, that's where we want to put our new entrance and exit. And so our plan is to remove the bridge. It's also not ADA compliant, and we've been told as well it's pretty expensive to add any kind of ramp, any kind of lift system as well. But a lot of people still want to see that pedestrian bridge stay.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, it's been here for almost 60 years now. So it's kind of hard to imagine Traverse City without that pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, not just a part of the skyline there as you're coming into the city, but it's a huge representation to people of safety, just like it is a huge representation of safety to Nancy, who we heard from in that story. And she says, every time I drive past it, I can't help but think, what if we had something like this? Maybe my brother would have lived a full life.
Right. And I'm assuming that Nancy just doesn't want to see what happened to her brother happen to anyone else, which is why she is concerned about losing this bridge.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said, Maya. And she said this devastated her family. And she said actually back then in the 60s, it was just a little bit more of a taboo topic to talk about, that they really didn't talk about Jody. They didn't bring him up to her parents, knowing they would be upset about it. And she said now, years later, she's still unpacking a lot of that emotion, especially when she is in that area and remembering that last bike ride that her brother took.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it would be like for her. Like she said in your story, she drives by it and, of course, thinks of that day and that incident and her brother every time she drives through it. So is there a possibility, and you may not know this answer, but could we get best of both worlds? Could the DNR move the entrance, and could we still keep the bridge?
I think that would definitely be a question for the DNR. We did reach out to them multiple times today. We reached out to the provided contact for the project. We didn't hear back from that person at all. I also reached out to MDOT, who said because they don't have any jurisdiction over the bridge, it is actually owned by the DNR, that they wouldn't be the best people to speak to it or speak to preserving the bridge either.
So still waiting to hear any sort of response from the DNR. Anything else, Allie, that we haven't discussed yet that you want to mention about this story?
Yeah, I would say, and I know you'll probably go over it with our question of the day as well as it pertains to this story. There is a lot of feedback from the community right now that they don't want to see this pedestrian bridge go anywhere. And I've spoken to multiple law enforcement people off the record as well, and they have told me that this is a huge concern for us. We don't want to have an argument with the DNR right now, but we are not supportive of this plan to remove that pedestrian bridge right there. It does concern us.
All right, Allie, thanks so much for joining us. Now, let's turn things over to that question of the day that Allie was just talking about. Do you agree with the DNR's plan to remove the pedestrian bridge connecting the Traverse City State Park to the beach? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you to our website where you can vote. It looks like we have 468 votes, and overwhelmingly, people are voting no. Right now, it's 93% no, 7% yes. We also have a lot of comments on our Facebook page, so we'll be sure to look at some of those and share them with you towards the end of our show. All right, another story in local news here. Sault Ste. Marie School District wants some input on what could be a major move, closing both elementary buildings and having all students in the same campus. UpNorthLive's Daniel Zivian spoke to staff about why this is happening and how the community can give their feedback on the plans.
The reality is we are having less students. The birth rate is declining, and we can't continue to operate 4 buildings that are basically half occupied.
Kronemeyer says the finishing blow came with last year's election, when voters rejected a $43 million bond to build a new elementary school. A coalition of parents, teachers, and staff was formed to whittle 7 or 8 ideas into 2 proposals for the school board.
It was really cool to hear everybody's perspective as like a community member. I'm a teacher, but I'm not a parent. So it was really interesting to hear parent perspectives and also teachers' perspectives. We had specials teachers, so student enrichment classes like art.
Schmidigal says the only difference between the proposals is the timeline. K-5 would occupy the current middle school, with the rest in the high school. All students and resources could be in one place as early as this fall.
It'll be more convenient for busing. It'll be easier for lunch. We'll be able to serve our students right from a kitchen as opposed to warmers that keep the food warm and is delivered from another building to here.
Kronemeyer says higher infrastructure costs will degrade education, citing the recent roof collapse that sent middle schoolers back to distance learning.
I think it's no secret that right now we're all a little nervous about what could happen at the federal level for districts at the lowest income potential like we are. That is very concerning to us. So we want to keep all of the programs that we put in place during the pandemic to help our students.
In Sault Ste. Marie, Daniel Zivian, UpNorthLive News.
And an informational meeting has already begun tonight at the high school, but there is a regular Board of Education meeting next Monday, and the board will likely vote on during their special meeting, on March 19th. Now, you can find more details on this proposed plan on our website, UpNorthLive.com. All right, before we take a quick break, we are continuing our Exploring Michigan series. A couple weeks ago, we took you to Great Lakes Crossings in Auburn Hills to view the Sea Life Aquarium. Well, today we're taking you to another place at the Great Lakes Crossings that really has a little something for everyone, especially kids with creative minds. Andrea Flores has the story.
It's the only Legoland Discovery Center in the state, offering a captivating indoor playground that's perfect for children and families.
We are the ultimate indoor Lego playground.
Marketing manager Eric Schriefel says Legoland Discovery Center is more than just a typical amusement park.
And we have everything from Lego rides to build and test zones. You can meet a master model builder. You can meet your favorite Lego characters.
One of the center's most notable features is the Miniland Detroit, a detailed display of iconic Motor City landmarks from the GM Renaissance Center to Ford Field.
There's actually over 1 million Lego bricks that were used in the construction of Miniland Detroit.
This masterpiece is the work of master builder Clint Perry, whose job appears to be more fun than work.
Or a master model builder must have the coolest job in the world, at least the coolest I can think of. So all day, every day, he's constantly thinking about Lego and building with Lego and teaching kids and family how they can build things with Lego.
Aside from the stunning Lego sculptures, there are plenty of attractions to keep visitors entertained.
Yeah, I would say the fan favorites, aside from Miniland Detroit, of course, are Kingdom Quest, our laser ride. So you hop on a Lego chariot and you're given a blunderbuss and you use it to zap skeletons and trolls and spiders, and you try and save the baby dragons.
Another popular activity lets guests try their luck at auto racing.
One of my personal favorites is our build and test area, where you can build a race car and race against your friends and family. We have 2 giant ramps that you race the race cars down.
There is one catch for the grown-ups. You can only get the full enjoyment of Legoland Discovery Center if you're with a child.
Don't feel bad if you don't have kids. Legoland does host periodic adult nights. Check with the center for those dates. Legoland is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5:30 and Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 6. Reporting for Exploring Michigan, Andrea Flores.
It looks pretty fun. There's a lot of fun things to do down there at Great Lakes Crossing outlets. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, but coming up in just a couple of minutes, our meteorologist Trevor Robdo will have much more on the upcoming forecast. He mentioned some of this rain we're seeing now will soon turn to snow. He'll have all the details straight ahead.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Okay, before we talk more about weather, we have to wish our meteorologist, Trevor Robideau, a very happy late birthday. His birthday was yesterday, so Trevor, you weren't here then, but happy birthday from all of us.
I wasn't expecting that. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it very much. As our producer backstage said, it was filled with hockey, heavy metal, and all the food that I could enjoy. So I am a very happy person, and I am now 24 years old. Fun fact.
Sounds like a perfect day for you.
Yep, it was a very fun day. So, you know what wasn't fun, though? Being outside at some points today, I imagine for some people. You know, sometimes people just don't like rain, and that's perfectly reasonable, of course. Well, the messy conditions that we had today are going to get worse, especially in the next 12 hours. What you're seeing right now is our camera over Petoskey, which now our temperature has dropped to 35 degrees, and they have very, very low visibility due to heavy fog. And much of northern Michigan is seeing this heavy fog right now as a result of this system passing through, dropping our temperatures to the dew point, which causes air to turn into clouds at the surface instead of being up in the sky. And then across the bridge, north of the bridge, Newberry, their visibility is a result of snow. And so we've got a mixed bag here. We've got some decreasing temperatures, rain, and also some icing and snow this evening. Still some 40s in some spots in the northern lower, but you can see that the temperatures very slowly turning over to temperatures in the 30s and even low 20s around northern Michigan as the system drives through. Traverse City a little over an hour ago was 49 degrees, and now it's 36. So we're going to continue to see dropping temperatures. Weather headlines, the purple shaded counties are winter weather advisories, and the more beige tan is the wind advisory. Those are in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then the wind advisory is in the afternoon. So it's going to get windy tonight. It's going to get icy. It's going to get snowy as this system passes through a very big system. This is the same system that brought severe weather and tornadoes through a lot of our areas down in the southern parts of the United States. And for us, we've got some rain off to the northeast, especially along the line of Lake Huron from the bridge extending over towards Rogers City and Alpena. And then to the north and west of that, we've got rain turning over to snow. So as the system moves off to the north and northeast, the snow will begin to continue filling in around northern Michigan. We've even got some spots where the temperatures are just meeting the freezing line. We have freezing rain. That's what the purple is you're seeing there from just west of Mackinac City up towards the eastern upper. So potentially icing conditions will be a problem as well tonight. And as that system continues to pass, we'll turn over to snow, filling in tonight. So just a few hours from now, we'll see more and more snow along with colder temperatures. The wind will pick up. It'll be very breezy tonight. And so expect some icing on the roads, was some accumulating snow overnight. You can still see a little snow in the morning, but beyond that, the snow will really be mainly in the very early morning. And then after that, we'll break out into drier conditions and maybe a little sunshine on the second half of the day, but it will still be windy for a good majority of tomorrow as well. And then we'll have another pocket of snow moving in late. There's our snowfall forecast. We'll see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches generally in the eastern upper, and a little less than that, more like 1 to 2, I think, in the northern lower. Some localized spots could see heavier amounts in the eastern upper, up to 5 inches, but generally we'll see less than that. Tonight, 13 to 25, rain to snow and some ice accumulation is possible with northwest wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, still cold, 27 to 35, mostly AM snow showers with some clearing, and then again, snow very, very late. But then after that, going towards next week, right after we turn our clocks forward, will be dry and much warmer with a lot of sunshine in the forecast as well. So it looks good next week.
All right. Thanks so much, Trevor. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports is next. Stay with us. It's been a very busy and exciting time of the year for high school basketball teams, both girls and boys. And for more on that, let's check in with sports director Harrison Beebe, who is at a game right now. Hey, Harrison.
Yeah, hey, Maya. Just listening to Trevor's weather report, and he is not kidding. This is the parking lot here at Onekama Schools, where the Portagers just got a win in the girls basketball district semifinals over Mason County Eastern. But yes, the commute home for these folks are going to have to take it a little slower. And for me, hoping to get back to Frankfort in time for another game in just a few minutes. That'll keep me on my tippy toes as well. But hey, it's not Northern Michigan if it's not the return of winter in March, of course. So exciting night for basketball. It's the most loaded night of the year for girls basketball games because it's the district semifinals. A majority of teams across the state are playing. It's just the ones that didn't make it out on Monday's district openers that are sitting at home tonight. All the rest of these brackets usually have 4 teams and 2 matchups going to determine the district finals, which will be on Friday.
And tell us a little more about this Frankfort matchup.
So the Frankfort district is a pretty enticing one. The Panthers, last I saw, were beating Grand Traverse Academy in the first game. The second game has got Leland and Leland St. Mary meeting up, and those are 2 really impressive teams in Division 4. Lakeland St. Mary can hang with anybody, and Leland's got a defense that is pretty intimidating. I've seen them hold opponents to very minimal scoring. So something's got to give in that matchup, and hoping I get the fireworks when I show up there, and it's our league game tonight at 11.
It's a lot of exciting games tonight, Harrison. I'm assuming we'll see all those highlights on UpNorthLive News at 11.
That's the plan. Thank you for confirming that, though. Yes, I do run around for the good people at 11, not just for my own enjoyment.
All right, Harrison, we'll drive safe out there, take it nice and slow, and we'll see you back here at 11. And we are going to take one last break, but coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to check in with our question of the day. We have a lot of voters tonight and a lot of comments to read through. That's next.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme. We have 530 votes on our question of the day today. Do you agree with the DNR's plan to remove the pedestrian bridge connecting the Traverse City State Park to the beach? As you can see, 93% of voters are saying no. Only 7% are saying yes. A lot of people are concerned about safety. Della says leave it for pedestrian safety. People will die if it is removed. Dale says absolutely not. Having men, women, and small children cross that 5-lane road with speeding cars, not a great idea. Kathy says this is an accident waiting to happen.
Michael says needs to stay or put a wheelchair accessible underground tunnel. No, that would be expensive. They're talking about maybe adding ramps, but they were concerned about the cost. So many more comments on our Facebook page if you want to join the conversation and read through them up North Live. But that'll do it for Unscripted tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock.